On the 12th days of Christmas, my true love gave to me a brand new shiny Ducati. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our new tradition, holiday show. Welcome to the program. This is On the Throttle with Jacqui and my buddy Josh. And today is a very special holiday themed episode. That's right, with my flat track Santa sweater, all ready to rock and roll and talk to you about some awesome things going on here at the holiday season. So this week, right now, I don't know when we're going to be shooting this or airing it, but it's going to be Christmas time. And I know that there's a handful of people in your life who ride motorcycles who maybe you're like, what do these people need? What should I get for them? And I know Josh has some things on his wish list that he would like Santa to bring as well. Yes. So Josh, tell me what you want to hear, what you want to get in your stocking or underneath your tree this year.
Well, to me, I'm just going to be happy if I don't get coal. So that's really is the big thing. It's always but if I do get coal, hey, I'll be a little bit warmer. So why don't you start? I mean, because you're going to be the generous one here. Why don't you start with something that maybe is a gift giving idea for someone?
Good call, Josh. You're right. I've curated a little list of some really kind of interesting and fun things I think would be fun to receive or give for Christmas. At the very first on my list, these really awesome holiday cards caught my eye. They are put out by the folks over at American Motorcyclists. That's right, the AMA. They've released a fundraising little pack of cards. They've got tons of different styles. I thought these were super neat. Look at those ho, ho, ho up there, Josh, with that, what is that, a Honda CB750 it looks like. And then there's a couple other beautiful bikes on there. And then I also grabbed a couple more slides. The next slide is going to be, which I thought, of course, for me, it tickled my fancy, and that's going to be a BMW single. So that's an R25, 26, or 27 for all of the BMW nerds that are watching. And then the last one, again, I just wanted to throw their website up there, that these can be found at AmericanMotorcyclist.com. They've got all sorts of different styles. And again, this is a bit of a fundraiser for the folks over at AMA. So that's my pick number one for today's holiday show. What do you got, Josh?
So for me, I guess mine's a little bit more of my wish list, but I mean, kind of goes along with yours too. But I don't want to sound totally greedy in this. So I have a quick little Christmas time story. It's December. It's Ohio. Yeah. I was out on my DRZ doing some adventuring, I guess you would call it. And I was reminded of why we ride. So I ended up riding out to a place called the Kilbuck Marsh, which is where there's a picture here that we'll bring up that I've got. Super neat area. It's actually a wildlife refuge. I rode out to there. In the process of riding out there, I am riding along a farm field. It's a slower speed area. It's just outside of a town called Worcester. Something catches my eye off to my left in this farm field. I happened to look over to see what it was, and for about 200 yards, there was a bald eagle flying about 100 feet that way, right next to me for about 200 yards. Probably one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had on a bike, and it reminded me of why we all ride. It's why we all enjoy getting out, whether it's on-road, off-road, whatever. Those are experiences that you just don't get any other way. So to me, the first thing on my wish list, more experiences like that.
That is a great wish list. That is a great thing to wish for, is awesome experiences. I certainly wish I had a bald eagle flying next to me when I go riding places. Maybe he wants to carry my gear for me. Maybe he was trying to fly next to you to tell you to, stand up on the pegs, Josh. Maybe he was telling you to stand up and ride a little bit better. I mean, who knows? All jokes aside, though, I'm glad you had a great ride. We have had some unseasonably warm weather, so I'm stoked that you went out and had some fun in the dirt on your great little bike over there, Josh. My second item on my list of things that might be a really great gift idea this rad little model that has been floating around the internet for a handful of years. It always seems to peek its head up at least once a year. People track this thing down. That's because this is a European model manufacturer. Again, I am a BMW nerd. This is a fully functioning R90S motor from the R90S BMW motorcycle by the same name. This can be tracked down over on eBay. I found it. It's around $225 here in the US. It is cheaper overseas, but then you have to pay VAT and shipping and all that shenanigans. But again, I thought that this was super neat. So if you've got a BMW dork in your life who loves BMW motorcycles, they would probably love to have this, because I know I would love to find this under my tree. What's your second item on your list, Josh?
So before we move on, though, when I look at that R90 motor, I think that really it already comes in a box. It would be more appropriate if they sent it in a basket, and then you variously hid parts around your shop for a couple of months, and then you try and reassemble it without any instructions. So that is how that would go for me, at least on that one. Is I mean, gotta go with how it's realist.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm already living that experience right now in my basement. So at least this is like the tidier, nicer version of it to like give me a little hope that someday I'll actually get my own vintage boxer engine back together. But what else do you got going on your list, Josh, other than riding next to bald eagles all season?
So really for me, I mean, it came out this year. It's going to be available, I believe, beginning of February. I just absolutely love the Touareg, the Aprilia 660 Touareg. I've got to say, I've been a fan of Aprilia for a lot of years. They always do some unique stuff. To me, as soon as I knew that they were coming out with this, it slots in that perfect riding area for me. I really want one to maybe go ride with some more bald eagles. So that if I could find that either under the tree, maybe in the stocking, I'd be a happy guy with that.
Yeah, that's a really excellent looking bike. I totally agree with you. That 660 platform, I think, is just that really sweet spot right now for ADV bikes. This is obviously in the red and black colorway. I'm going to disagree with you, though. I think the blue and white colorway was far superior, but that's okay. I'll let you have your red and black. I know that's how you roll. It's what you're into. I'm into blue and white. It's my thing. But it's a wonderful bike, and I could definitely see how you would be really pumped to have that underneath the tree or in your garage. And I think, like you already said, they are coming out in what, February?
Yeah, they're coming out in February, and I only have to just point out the irony that you're the one wearing red and black, and I'm the one wearing blue.
I know. I'm full of idiosyncrasies, Josh. I'm like an onion. Yes. I've got many layers. Okay, so next gift item on my list is actually a gift item with like 4 subparts to it because I just couldn't pick one. These are really rad sets released by the folks over at Lego. This new one was just released this past week. It is not even available yet. So it is not just the Christmas gift. It is the gift going into 2022. This is going to be a M1000, or sorry, this is going to be an S1000 double R M package bike, if I remember that correctly. This is a super fancy BMW road race style machine. This is just an excellent Lego set. I think that is just incredible. And then I've got a couple more slides showing off some of the other sets that they do. Again, that's the M high performance version. They do a couple of Ducati bikes. They've got all sorts of cool stuff. That's the Panigale V4R. They've got, I think I showed another one of it loose. Yeah, that's it outside of the box. How cool is that, Josh? Isn't this the greatest Lego thing you've ever seen? Now, look, these super collectible, very fancy branded ones are around like $250 plus dollars. And on the Lego website, they're completely sold out. However, you can track them down. I did using the Google machine. I found a couple of them on eBay. Even places like Target still have a couple of these. And then my last slide from the Lego folks, I thought this was really cool. And this is a much more reasonable price tag. This is a stunt cycle with a truck, and then it's got the little hoop that it jumps through. I think if I was a kid, I mean, heck, even right now, I as an adult, I would love to have that. I think that that is super, super cool. I love Legos and I love toy models. Obviously, those are two of my items on my gift list. So maybe I'm just a kid at heart or I'm just a dork that likes putting things together. But I think that these are all super excellent and at all sorts of different price points. And that is my one of my picks for the holiday season is one of these excellent Lego sets. What do you think about those, Josh?
I may or may not have built something similar to that recently. So we'll just we'll leave it at that. I still
See,
refuse to grow up. Yeah,
yeah. See, you're
that's
into it. I don't care. I don't care what age you are. We are
no,
all into these Lego situations. We're all totally into them. So if you've got a Ducati
agreed.
nerd or BMW nerd in your life, and then they released a GS one also a couple years back, then that's super cool too. But anywho, so that is one of my wish list. One of my holiday picks is going to be one of these awesome sets from the folks at Lego. What's next on your
Yeah.
list, Josh?
So to me, so what's the one thing, whether you be on road, off road, whatever, that we all want? It's more places to go. This past year, I did get one of my Christmas wish list items. The Wayne National Forest actually added a few new trails. Now, I know a number of other places are getting more new trails too, and that's what I love to see is just us having more places to enjoy, whether it's dual sport riding, whether it's, trail riding, whether it's out on track. There are so many more options than what we had 10, 12, 15 years ago. And it's all due to the hard work of of the people pushing for this in the industry. To me, I love seeing this. It's the one thing that just makes me smile all year long.
Yeah, for sure. So I totally agree with you. Having more places to ride is absolutely at the top of the list, particularly if you're in the off-road space. Off-road parks and OHVs and borderland management folks out west. I think that those are all great places. I love the vacation off-road parks as well. You can usually camp or park your bus or your van or your RV or whatever you're doing there for super cheap. It's like 10 or 15 bucks a night. So to me, it's a really fun, very inexpensive way to have a great vacation with my significant other, our little dogs, or if we had kids, I would drag them to that as well. Speaking of little kids, while you are looking at places for people to go ride, I am interested in building more motorcyclists. And all of that begins with bicycling. That's right. Bicycling is the gateway drug for us to build more motorcyclists. And the folks at StaCyc have been building really neat electric, that's right, battery operated, small. They're not pedal bikes, they're actually balance bikes. They're for that sweet spot for itty bitty mini kids. They do a 12-inch wheel and a 16-inch wheel version, which is what's on your screen right now. So they don't have pedals. They literally are just, you put your feet up on the pegs and you balance, and it has a little bit of I'm going to use the word throttle for lack of a better word, but a little bit of a throttle on that right-hand side in order to power them. And they have several different power modes. There's an intro, an intermediate, and then a haul in the mail setting, because I've actually worked several race events. That's right, they even race these things at some races all
Yes.
around the United States to try to get kids out onto the track, out onto the course to compete with their buddies, have a good time. Mom and dad are cheering them on. This is just such a cool, neat thing. I think that these are absolutely incredible. I'm not going to lie, they are a little spendy, but I think that this is just such a brilliant, brilliant way to get kids from the itty bitty mini age to get to bicycles and then to get to motorcycles later on down the road. So this is going to be one of my picks. This is a 16-inch, that's right, the big wheel guy, StaCyc balance bike.
Is that your size?
Josh, you're totally not wrong. The joke's on you, Josh, because you're not much taller than me. But you're right. The thing about mini bikes that I think I'm also drawn to is the fact that I pretty much fit on them. So that's going to be one of
Yeah.
my next picks is this StaCyc balance bike. So if you've got mini kids at home, make sure you put this on your list or go take a look at them at a dealership near you. What else is on your list, Josh?
Speaking of something with short seat heights, is the next thing that I have on my list is something that I've always wanted. We talked a little bit about these types of bikes last week. I have always wanted a trials bike. And if I'm going to get a trials bike, why not go weird and off the wall? This is the Beta 300 4-stroke. Trials bikes are just such a great way to learn better motorcycling skills. Not to mention, you just can do stupid, insane things on them. And just, it's one of those things where you cannot be frowning on one of these bikes. Just so much fun. So to me, to have that as a toy to mess around in the yard with, I really kind of want one. So that's the next thing on my list. Once again, if I found it in the stocking, under the tree, I don't know how it comes down the fireplace. I'm not going to ask any questions.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And this is the perfect party weapon to take out to that Wayne Forest new trails out there, right? Yeah, that looks like a heck of a good time. I agree with you. I love Trials bikes. They're a hoot. The nice squishy suspension. They're super fun and very forgiving also. Their power band is really wide, really soft. They're just really, really forgiving machines to ride. They're a super good time, and the folks at Beta make a heck of a beautiful one. Is that your last wish list item, Josh? Is that your grand finale of things that you'd like to get?
I've got one more after that. I saved the big one for last.
This wasn't the big one?
No. I mean, if I'm going to have a wish list, I mean, it's remember being a kid paging through the Sears catalog. You didn't go for the $10 item. You went for, I literally always circled the $300 slot car set. This last one is the Zero SR-S. I want a road weapon that's going to be a ton of fun. You and I both love the electrics, and I wanted to make sure that I gave that a shout out this year too. Such a neat concept that they've brought to market. I mean, the power, the way they move, how they recycle the power. There's so much goodness in this thing. I want one.
Yeah, that's a heck of a grand finale, Josh. I certainly don't blame you. It's a beautiful bike. I love that front end. It just super means the business. That is a great pick for Santa to bring you if you were good and you were on his good list, but we both know that you were on the naughty bad list. So good luck. Hopefully save your pennies, save up for that. They're at dealerships near you coming soon. And then the last couple of items that I have are just a quick handful of little stocking stuffer items that I think every motorcyclist should get and have hands down in their shed or in their garage or in their life. So those are going to be my little quick 3 items. Are going to be a cell phone mount and holder from the folks over at Rockform. As you can see, that cross type shape that's on it, that's a little bit of like you click it in and rotate it when you use the correct case, which is my second slide. It has a universal fit handlebar mount. They actually lock in using this case. I think this is super neat technology. You know, whether you want to admit it or not, everybody rides with their cell phones. Everybody uses them to either stream music or as a map or whatever they're doing with it. Everybody rides with their phones nowadays. So make sure you do it safe and make sure you've got a great way to lock that to your bike. I think that's a heck of a stocking stuffer. Again, that's from the folks over at Rockform. My next little bit of a stocking stuffer idea is going to be this great lock set. I found this over on Revzilla. I love this. This is 5 foot in length. I think this is around $20 or $30. It has that shackle lock included on it. And this is awesome. This was a game changer, life-saving moment for me. I kind of cobbled one of these together when I was doing a big trip on my motorcycle. And you're right. Would I lock up my bike and consider it to be protection for my bike? No. But what it is protection for and what you can lock it is I would thread it through the arms of my jacket and my helmet. And that way I could lock my gear to my bike instead of having to carry it around at hot, sweaty motorcycle events all day, Josh. And this thing was a total game changer. And they put together a nice, tidy, very coated one for you. Again, I found this over the folks over at Revzilla carry this. And then my last little slide is going to be a product put out by the company called Clockworks. Their new business is called CleanWorks. Clockworks cleaning products over there. This is Shineworks, EngineWorks, and MattWorks. These are really product. Again, if you've got a matte finish bike or you've got a cheap bike, having this great little kit with you. It comes with a cloth and a set of gloves as well. I think that's a great stocking stuffer idea, and I think it's like $20 or $30 or so. So again, that can be found over the folks that are behind Clockworks. It's getclocked.com is where you can track that down. What do you think about those stocking stuffers, Josh?
I mean, once again, all great ideas, and especially that lock, just because of the fact I have a lock on my bike all the time, just because of the fact you're always going to find a use for it. Always. So love the idea. The cleaning stuff, great idea for so many motorcyclists out there. But to me, if it's not dirty, I didn't do a good ride. So
I know, Josh. I know that one wasn't necessarily for you, but there's a lot of folks that like to tidy up their
Okay.
bikes a little bit. I think I think
Yes,
that
they
kit
do.
is just very, 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 very clever because it's all three
For
things that you
sure.
need in one little package. I thought it made for a great little stocking stuffer. So, thank you
Agreed.
so much for your list today, Josh, of the things that you hope Santa brings you. I hope I inspired some of you to go track down some great gifts for the motor fanatic in your life. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome holiday, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great holiday, everybody, from Josh and I here at On the Throttle.
I'm going to go sit under the tree.
You're going to wait for Santa.
Yes.